This clip is to show you how to get your least square regression line or your line of best fit using your calculator. First of all, I have two different calculators here. This one's kind of got the old programming in, and this one has the newer programming, so it's got prompts, so it's a little bit different on both depending on the calculator you have. I have a set of data. List 1 are my inputs, list 2 are my outputs, and I want the calculator to find the line of best fit. It has to include the mean point, or the average of the x's and the average of the y's, and it has to minimize the distance between the data and the line's value squared. That's what makes it truly the best fit line. Now, in your calculator, I can quit out of the list now that I know that I have them there. The calculator in STAT, in Calculate, has the linear regression lines. Now, there's two different linear regression lines, STAT, Calculate, and you can see them both on the newer screen. Mathematically, we write our lines with the power of the highest power of the variable first, alphabetically down. Statistics, though, write the linear regression line with your start value, or your y-intercept, then the slope with your x. They're both the same. You can choose either one. In math class, you should probably choose 4. In stats class, you should probably be choosing 8. Choose the linear regression line that you want, and then on the old calculator, put the list that includes your inputs, or your x's, which happens to be L1, and then put the list that includes your outputs. For me, that was L2, and hit enter. On the newer one, when you hit linear regression, it's going to give you a prompt. L1 for the X list, L2 for the Y list. Clear out the frequency list. Store your regression equation. The old calculator automatically did it. And then calculate. Now, this one has some diagnostics about statistics. If you're in a stats class, you'll want to see those. If your calculator doesn't do that, you can turn them on by going alphabetically to diagnostics and turning it on. I'll show you how to do that at the end of the video. This is telling me the equation ax plus b, and I fill in 1.4 for a, and I substitute in 3.5 for b, and that's my regression line. Same thing here. It gives me the equation, my values for a and b. Now, to use this line, which is kind of slick, if I go to y equals, I can hand type it in, or I can go to variable, and this time go to statistics variable, choose equation, and the first thing that comes up is my regression equation. And then it will put up what it stored for the regression equation. Same thing with this one. If I go to y equals, I can get rid of everything else here, and I can just go to variable, stat, equation, regression equation, and it will automatically put there. Now, on the newer calculator, that store, that's where I could have just automatically told it to go to Y1, and I wouldn't have had to do this. So let me go back and do that for you. Stat, calculate, linear regression, L1, L2, there's no frequency list, store it as Y1, variable, Y variable, function, Y1, calculate. Now, if you noticed on the screen, it quickly went to what this screen went to here before it gave me the information. Now, if I go to Y1, it's inputted the value. I can graph them. If I have my stat plot on, I have my scatter plot. 1 and 2 are my input and output. I'm doing big dots in red. And if I go zoom stat, it will give me my best window, and my y equals shows up. Same thing on this one. Stat plot, turn it on, make sure it's a scatter plot, go to zoom stat, it gives me my best stat window, and both will show up at the same time.